Welcome to a mystical and mysterious land not even Indiana Jones would seek to venture in. One where we honestly have no clue where the rolling political boulder will emerge from and whom it may claim next. One where there are plenty of snakes crawling about seeking to entice and poison the masses. And where we are still several months away from the revealing of what lies in the ark of the electoral covenant, where far too many people dare not look for fear it may indeed consume them. For it made no difference really which candidate ascended to the role of Republican presidential nominee. We have already crossed the event horizon in the redefining and the eventual defining of Republican Party politics. And where this party goes from here will domino effect its way well past the time we are mere dust in history. And speaking of history, welcome back the veteran presidential historian, New York Times bestselling author, whose latest book is Last Act, The Final Years and Emerging Legacy of Ronald Reagan, Craig Shirley. And a reminder, your chance to direct a question to Craig is moments away. 1-877-Newsmax. A specific question for Craig, please. All right, Mr. Shirley. Good to see you again, my friend. Let's take a breath here and take in everything that we have seen.
Opening. That was just terrific.
You like that? I did that just for you, my brother. And I'll tell you what, next time I'm going to bring out my Indiana Jones hat, and I'm going to do it just like that one more time. But thank you very much. I appreciate that. So let's draw this all together here. We've taken a breath. Kasich's gone. Cruz is gone. Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee. But the uncharted territory we're walking into right now, and this is what I'm calling the refining and the defining of Republicanism. Is it not fair to say that we are seeing something historic? We're seeing something no one really knows where we're going now, Craig. This is real uncharted land.
No, absolutely, Ed. And it really depends now. Obviously, Trump is on his way to the first ballot nomination, all things being equal. But that doesn't mean he's on his way to the election. If he loses in November, Trumpism as a force inside the Republican Party will die very quickly, and the party will revert back to Reagan intellectual conservatism. If he wins, there will be even if he wins, I think there'll still be a struggle over his view of American conservatism and a Reagan-esque view. You know, I was looking at an old Richard Nixon speech the other day. He gave in Tennessee at a Billy Graham rally. And it's very interesting because Nixon here in 1970, he's president of the United States, and he's saying, I want the water to be clean and it will be clean. I want the air to be clean and it will be clean. I want children to be fed and they will be fed. It was all very evocative of Trump, is that, you know, using big government to exercise or to send out commands to the people instead of letting the people decide for themselves. And this, of course, is the great difference between British or European conservatism and American conservatism. Reagan believed that power flowed upward from the people to the institutions and the elected officials, whereas British conservatism, which Trump sounds like, believes that power flows downward from institutions and government to the individual.
British conservatism. I'm going to ask you about that here in just a moment and deal that in a different sense with a tweet that Michael Reagan put out. First of all, we really haven't heard much from Donald Trump. Victory speech after winning Indiana. He sounded a little low energy, but at this point, I think he can afford to basically just reel it in a little bit. Here's what he said.
When I got back tonight and I started watching all of the different networks, I could see immediately that we were doing very well, and it really looks like a massive victory, and looks like we win all 57 delegates.
So here's the question here, and this comes down to what Michael Reagan said in a tweet, which I think speaks to what kind of conservatism we're going to next. The Republican Party is no longer the party of Reagan. It is now the party of Trump, ... Good luck. That did not sound like it was very optimistic. Again, I'm not speaking for Michael Reagan, but that was the tweet. But the question is, what kind of conservatism are we headed for then, Craig? And is it not fair to say that maybe we needed a change of conservatism to shake this up?
Well, that remains to be seen, doesn't it, Ed? You know, Reagan conservatism is really comes from the American Revolution and the founders and the framers, which put their faith and trust in the individuals, which is why the first Article 1 of the Constitution created the House of Representatives, didn't create the Senate or the presidency, because they put their trust in the American people. We've seen an evolution of the Republican Party. The Democratic Party has stayed basically the same since 1932 and the rise of the New Deal. It is the party of government. The Republican Party has gone back and forth between being the party of less government and the party of the people. We're now in an era where the Republican Party is the party of government, and don't make no mistake about it, whether it's the Bushes or Donald Trump, they both are evocative of the party of government, not the party of the individual.
If you have a specific comment very quickly for Craig Shirley, you can join us at 1-877-Newsmax, 1-877-Newsmax. We only have 90 seconds to go here. So let me get to this real quickly. There are those who still call Donald Trump the next coming of Ronald Reagan. Quickly. You bristle at that every time you hear that, don't you?
I know because I'm an historian and I look at the facts, Ed. Ronald Reagan was a beloved world leader who changed the course of history. Donald Trump is a New York City real estate developer. Ronald Reagan, he doesn't talk like Ronald Reagan. He doesn't behave like Ronald Reagan. I don't think he even sees the world like Ronald Reagan. So Donald Trump is not the heir to Reagan or Reagan conservatism.
Very quickly, let's get a couple of comments. And again, people, very quickly. Mike, London, Kentucky, 15 seconds, make your point. Mike in London, Kentucky.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, Mike. You got 10 seconds now. Make your point. Go.
Okay, Hillary and Bernie Sanders are going to bankrupt this country. Donald Trump is going to bring gold standard and prosper. That's what I want for president.
Okay, there you go. Thank you. Audrey in Phoenix, Arizona, 15 seconds with Craig Shirley. Go.
Donald Trump is ripping apart the Republican Party. He's going to make a World War III. They're both in the news with his university, Hillary with her emails.
Okay, we got you there. 10 seconds, Craig. Quick response.
Is the callers, I think, are representative of everybody in America. This is going to be a very divisive, low, not high energy election, but low information election.
It is going to be in November to remember by the time we get there. I'm also going to wear that Indiana Jones hat. I think I may need it, as a matter of fact. Craig Shirley, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us. When we come back, the Electoral College mess on the Hard Line.